Hello. Hi. How's it going out there? I am super excited to be here with you guys again this week for Your Promotability Factor, the show where I answer all of your most pressing questions about getting promoted into senior executive leadership positions. In this week's episode, I'm answering the question how to have that conversation with someone at a higher level without stepping on your boss's toes. This question was sent by Pankaj, and I'm really excited to dig into this. But just as like a little teaser, the answer is basically don't be shady. I'll explain a little bit how you can actually not be shady in a few minutes. But if you have questions as you're listening to this, please drop them into the comments. And if you have a question that you want me to answer on a future broadcast, on a future episode, also put that into the comments because I'm here to answer your actual questions. And who am I? My name is Stacy Mayer. I'm from Stacy Mayer Coaching, and I coach corporate managers to get promoted into higher level executive positions. And I am on a mission to get 1,000 underrepresented yet powerhouse corporate managers promoted into senior executive positions each year worldwide. So if you're here with me today, you could be the next manager that I help get promoted, even just through answering these questions today. So make sure that you engage, make sure that you reach out. Even if you're watching the replay, you can definitely post your comments in the comment box. So, question today, again, let me reread it from Pankaj. How to have that conversation with someone at a higher level without stepping on your boss's toes. So I'm not 100% sure what's being referred to as that conversation, but in terms of career advancement, that's what I will pose the answer. And I gave you the little teaser at the beginning, which is like, don't be shady, right? And I think that part of what is happening when we're thinking, even having the thought that we don't want to step on someone's toes, it's because we already are thinking about going around that person. So let's say, for instance, that it's your boss and you don't have a fantastic relationship with your boss, or you don't really get along well with your boss, or your boss doesn't support your professional development, or you feel like you're hitting a wall. And so you're like, oh, I want to build a relationship with her boss instead, right? And so maybe he can help me get into a senior executive position, right? And so if you have that type of thinking going into it, like I'm literally going to go around their back and talk to her boss because she won't help me, so I'm going to go to the person above her, then it is going to be like stepping on her toes. So don't do that. What are you going to do instead? You need to make sure that you're having very direct and open and honest conversations with your boss first. So, in terms of your own professional development, right? Not your job performance, not asking them to tell you how to be a better manager, but career expectations, right? So, what I like to do is I always recommend to people that we 3x our vision, right? So it's easier to talk about our long-term career goals because it's a lot less threatening. So I would approach it like this. Have a conversation with your boss. So we're not even talking about your boss's boss yet, about how you hope to become vice president someday, or you hope to become CRO someday, right? Either internally or externally, and why that is. Why you are uniquely qualified to become a CFO or in the C-suite someday, right? That's the type of conversation that you're going to have with your boss. So it opens up the door. It says, this is my expectation. This is my leadership growth. This is where I'm headed. And then you actually ask your boss the question, what would you need to see from me in order to have me make that happen, right? Like, what am I missing here? What type of leadership attributes would I have to show and demonstrate in order for you to put me up for promotion, even to the next level, even to become a director, right? So that's that higher level conversation. You're having it with the source. Now, let's say that your boss traditionally doesn't support you. You don't have a great relationship with your boss to begin with. I don't care. You still are allowed to have this type of professional development conversation with your boss, right? You are allowed to schedule a 15-minute one-on-one to talk about your professional development with your boss. Now, Your boss may annoy you in this conversation. Your boss, she might be like, well, you have to wait it out, blah, blah, blah. None of that matters. All you're doing is putting it on the table that I have an expectation that I want to move up into leadership over the next 5-10 years, right? You're not giving an ultimatum. It doesn't have to be immediate. It's like your long-term career goals, right? So then what happens is you're opening up the door to talk to her boss, right? So you have gone to her first. You're not going around her back. You have opened up the door, which is that I'm just gathering information for people about what it takes to become a C-suite executive, either at this organization or externally. I'm just having casual conversations with people about my personal professional growth. Nothing has gone wrong. This is not an ultimatum. It's about my growth, my vision, and I'm gathering information. If you approach it from that way, you will never be going behind anybody's back. It's obvious that you would talk to all the people, right? That you would gather all of the information. Now, here is the kicker. And I recently had this conversation with one of my clients who's actually a manager right now, and his boss is out on maternity leave, right? And so he is having more direct conversations with her boss, right? Like just about the job, right? But a lot of times, even though she's out on maternity leave, she's still CC'd on the conversations, right? Because she's still part of that closed loop, right? And he wants to talk to her boss about his professional development. Now, he has really open conversations with his boss all the time about his expectations and what he wants in terms of his own professional development. So having a conversation with her boss is not weird in and of itself. But here's where the weird part was, and this is what I coached him to do differently, is that he was going to mix it with work, right? So his boss is still CC'd on all of the information, even though she's out on maternity leave, right? A professional development conversation is a private conversation. It's a between you and me type conversation. She doesn't need to be CC'd on that, right? But she does need to be CC'd on work because that's the expectation that has been set up. So if he is going to have a conversation with her boss about work, he does need to include her. If he's going to have a conversation with his boss about his professional development, he does not need to include her. Do you see where I'm going here? This is the expectation that's set up. We can talk to people about our professional development and not include everybody. We can't go behind somebody's back and talk about work, right? We can't go behind somebody's back to get another opinion about our job or like because we disagree with them, right? So that is the line. So I coached him to only have a professional development conversation with her boss, right? And so how could he schedule that 15 minutes just by itself, right? And then it's not going behind her back at all. And even if she found out about it, it wouldn't be weird. And then he could also bring it up later and that wouldn't be weird, right? So this is how we keep from going behind our boss's back and have that conversation. So you see where I'm going here? Talk about professional development and also don't be shady. Don't go behind their back, right? Just like go through the source, like go through the chain of command. It's fine. It's totally fine. You are in control of your career and keep it simple. Keep it as simple as possible and have very direct conversations. If you have any thoughts or questions about this, I encourage you to post a comment even if you're watching the replay. And also for next week, if you have any questions that you want me to address here on this live show, I would be more than happy to address them for you. So write them down. Anything that has to do with you as a corporate manager getting promoted into senior executive leadership, I am all for, and I am on a mission to help you get there. Now, if you're wanting to take this one step deeper and you want to actually set up a strategy for getting you that promotion, then I encourage you to schedule a free career strategy session. So you go to stacymayer.com/apply. I'm writing it here in the comments. You'll see the application. They're totally free, but by application only. So check it out. Definitely. We'll hop on the phone. We'll get super clear about what it's going to take to get you specifically promoted into that senior executive leadership position. And then if it seems like a good fit, I'll tell you all about my promotion accelerator program, my 6-month one-on-one coaching program that gets you into that higher level of leadership. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you next week. Bye.